Hey guys, welcome to another episode of If It Isn't Love podcast. I am your hostess, Dasha.
And I'm your co-host, J.O. Woodson.
And we're going to get right into things. It's a new week. That's all I got. It's a new week. There's a lot of, racism still out here. Racism-ing.
And other stuff too. But my brother's been letting me down a little bit.
What brother?
Brothers.
Oh, your brothers. Oh, you mean men?
Yeah, a little bit.
Men been out here menning, niggas been nigging all the good live long day. You were talking about Quavo? Is that your brother?
It's their response to, him too, but it's their response to like everything that he's been doing. And then, what's his name? Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson.
Yeah, like
my queen. I cheat too. I mean, look, I will say this. I don't expect anything from humans other than to be human. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting when you're a person who in the public eye, you talk so much about how someone should, what's right, what's wrong, how people should do this and that. And you made your entire platform out of being this good guy and why women shouldn't listen to men, certain type of man. That doesn't mean he doesn't cheat. And I will say some of the problem with how we view pseudo celebrities or these gurus or whatever in our society is we think that because they preach this thing, one, that automatically means they practice it. And that's not the truth. Or that they're not subject to error. Like they can't also mess up, and they do. And I think that all the things he says about, holding your woman in high regard and all those types of things probably still stands true. It doesn't mean a lot of people people know that vegetables are good for you. Do they eat them all? No.
Like, you need a salad. Maybe I should have one too.
A lot of people love, you should choose this over that, but this tastes good. So right. It tastes better to you, right? And sugar, your condition. So just because you know better does not mean you do better. You should. But I think, and I don't know because I haven't heard his response to these allegations or that scenario. And then some of it I've heard is like, they're separated and a lot of people have different opinions on what can happen during a separation. I know a lot of people, just because I watch a lot of divorce court too, where people get into other relationships while they are legally separated. And I have friends who are legally separated, not divorced from their spouses, and are in relationships or in situations with other people, like both parties, but they haven't done all of the legal work, but they are like, we are hopelessly separated. We're not getting back together. We're just we haven't moved forward yet with the divorce proceedings. So depending, if you're not trying to be in a space of reconciliation with your spouse, some people believe that it's fine. And some people are just like, no, if we're not divorced, we're still married and you can't be in a relationship or sleep with someone else. I've never been married, so I've never been divorced. So I've never been separated. So I don't know how I would feel. I think it probably depends on a lot of why you're getting divorced. If it's like someone cheated, like if we're married and we're going to get divorced and you cheat on me, I feel well within my rights to do whatever I want to do. Yeah. If we have gotten to a point where we're saying we're not interested in reconciliation, maybe you have to split assets. Like, sometimes things can be more complicated when you're trying to divorce.
The other process, the background processes of divorce.
Yeah. If we don't live together and we can be amicable. We can be like, yeah, we did this. We decided we're not going to continue on. We don't have like any, it's like, oh, I don't hate you. And even if you do, if you're not living with that person anymore and you decide, but then the outside world has their own opinions. Like, well, divorce ain't divorce.
You technically still married. Like, nah, bro. Like if you actually about to get divorced and you guys have like basically agreed that you guys were not going to get back together, I'm sorry. Like there's room for me to actually be with somebody else. But also I do feel like it's still a messy situation either way because of the fact like that person who is going to be with you in a relationship still has to deal with the fact that you're still married and still doing the legal battle of like splitting assets and stuff like that. That's the only reason why, like, I think it's not necessarily a good idea just to do that, because it could be a strain.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally would want to be in a relationship with someone who was not divorced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just wouldn't want to. I would not want to be in a relationship with a person who isn't divorced yet. That would just be weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like, my question always is, and then like, how long? Like, people are like, I've been separated for 2 years. Why you ain't divorced? I know people who have been separated for a long time, and I'll be like, neither one of y'all got a lot, so why is this taking so long?
Why are y'all holding on to like, oh well, you know, there's this dining room set that we can't agree on, like,
or just when people just don't. When you're, even if it's not that, right? Even if it's like we're not arguing, we're just not being very forward focus in making this divorce happen. That would concern me too. Like, if y'all not going to be together, why are you not moving forward with this legal, with this divorce? I wouldn't be in a situation where I'm like, especially like depending on why you're getting the divorce, like you need to work on you. Don't try to be with me till you have done whatever work you need to do on you, to have some time to be like, look at me, divorced by myself, right? And just get into another.
By myself, all alone. I can come in the house naked if I want to. No.
Was that on the spot?
Just a little rap? That Kevin Hart.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, like, stupid. I just, yeah. So Derek, whatever. And I don't know I didn't really do enough research on that situation to know like what. But I have heard a lot of people saying like, oh, separation don't mean divorce and da-da-da. But I mean, you can be legally separated, like on record as separated from your spouse and whatever. And then the whole thing, maybe we'll pivot our conversation a little bit, because when you mentioned like my brothers and talking about, Sweetie and Quavo broke up, and I kind of felt for. I liked them together. Yeah, they were a cute little hood couple. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed them.
And they looked happy.
They looked happy. I've seen their little interviews together, and I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing was Quavo cheated. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, like multiple times, apparently.
Right. And he got caught. And so the issue is he was disappointed in her reaction and how she handled him cheating, and feeling like, because I guess she was on Twitter, like,
oh yeah, she was going in.
She was like, I felt the disconnect for a while. Mm-hmm. Like, we haven't, which is crazy to me, but I don't know. It could have been months ago that I saw them on something and thought like it was right then.
Yeah.
I could see something today that had been recorded forever ago.
And it might not be real time.
Right. And even if it is, stuff changes quickly, and it can. And she was like, but I felt the disconnect coming, and we haven't been in the best space in a while. And, I'm, living my life. I'm gonna do my thing, whatever. And he has some kind of like, wow, I can't believe like you're on here acting like that, and pretty much saying like,
you're not the woman I thought you were.
You're not the woman I thought you were. Pretty much not understanding why she won't just take him back, and acting like she was wrong for being like, all right, like, oh, this what you want to do? Bet, it's over. For like breaking up with him and sticking to her guns. And then he was just like, you're not the woman I thought you were. And then she retweeted, take care. And I was just like, queen.
Then he took the car.
Oh yeah, taking her car back. Like, my thing is, one, that's a gift. So something you gifted legally, she could get it back.
But if it's in his name.
If it's I don't know.
Like,
I don't know that part.
I thought, like, okay, more than likely it's a gift, but it's probably in his name. That's probably why I'm like, okay, he probably took it back. But at the same time, I'm like, man, you could just sign that title over.
Yeah.
Or whatever you have to do with that, and just give her the doggone car, and she could pay for it herself after that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I mean, honestly, I don't know like the full story, even just behind that car. I just know like, yeah, it's a gift and everything like that. But I'm like, because like a lot of people who were I guess commenting on Twitter and whatnot, it's like, well, shoot, if it's in my name, I'll take it back myself. I'm like,
yeah.
So you gonna keep the car?
I mean, if it's not in her name, I don't know the legality part. But if you know that's just a word, or somebody gets you something as a gift, put it in your name. So, but then like you have to pay for it and stuff. But like like stuff, if somebody gives you something as a gift that's paid for outright.
I don't think like based on what I saw, I don't think he paid for it outright. I think he was like paying on it.
So that's the whole thing. So in that case, take it, because don't leave me with a bill. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
A few things. One, that's fine if you're making payments still. Don't leave me with a bill. You've given me a service. Mm-hmm. But if it's paid for outright, it's mine.
Yeah.
And legally, she could get it back because it's a gift and it's mine. But she should also, I know the thing is, when you're in relationships, people do not do things with the thought that this person might do something that is against me, and so I should do stuff to prep. So this is the thing. You think about people like getting prenups when they get married and stuff like that, and then people are offended because the thought is, well, if we're going to be together forever, why would we get a prenup?
Like, and you don't trust me.
Exactly. Or you think like I've heard a lot of like, we're setting ourselves up for failure if we're going into this thinking that we're not going to survive. Mm-hmm. And I was probably at one point on that side of things. Right. But I also just think, again, like I already said, people be peopling. We're people. And I think to assume that the person that you are going to be with will 100% be that person. Mm-hmm. Chopper style, chop stuff. It will be that person however many years from now. Mm-hmm. It's just not a safe bet. 50% of marriages end in divorce, right? I know that my son. I mean, I like to think of that as 50% of marriages survive. They don't get divorced. But it just means that sometimes people operate as their worst selves, as the worst version of themselves for different reasons. Sometimes different life experiences that you never had before affect you. You know, pandemics change people. Becoming parents change people. All kinds of stuff change people. And you don't know what's going to happen. So I get feeling like, oh, he's not gonna ever cheat on me, even though he's amigo. I know that's terrible, but you know, sometimes coming with that lifestyle.
But at the same time, like you, like one of the things that I really did, I did hope for the best for them.
Absolutely.
Like I'm like, okay, they seem like they're different and everything like that. Like this is going very well. They seem like
less toxic Offset and Cardi. They seemed. I mean, again, I don't know these people.
That's one other thing.
And I don't know these people in real life. So, I mean, so you don't want to be like, well, let me get in my name in case you cheat on me and I want my car back. People don't say, this is my gift, put it in my name in case something happened. Right? Instead of just saying like, if it's mine, I want it in my name. I just want it to be mine. Irrespective to, regardless of what the reason is, just put it in my name. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people do stuff like that. But the shift in like, it's her fault that she reacted the way she reacted to how he cheated. Like the thought that, people are like, well, she could have done like Cardi did. She could have taken him back and she could have forgiven. And let's say there's still room for that because people be peopling.
Yeah.
And sometimes Cardi been talked about divorce and then a month later been back with Offset. So it's not that it doesn't happen, but the idea that somebody could be like, you hurt me and I loved you and I am not going to move forward with this. Like you've done this thing that you promised you would never do. You broke in whatever our commitment is. We're not married. Mm-hmm. And even for him to take away the car, if it was like a regular person like me, that would hurt probably. You taking a rich toy from a rich nigga, like she's like, I'm rich as well, sir. Like I too
she's like, I got a band for your band and a band.
And currently, in terms of industry standards, is more popping or whatever you want to call it than he is right now. Like, in terms of music and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what else he does outside of acting, producing. That could be a whole nother bag.
Right.
I know he was a real life drug dealer at one point. So, you know, I don't know what he got going on, what enterprises he has going on. But there is something to be said. Like, it's not like she didn't come, like she don't have her own. And she's young too. And I'm not saying old people should just be mistreated and do whatever. But I think especially somebody who is so young, like I'm like, kudos for her. Cause I want to say Sweetie is like 23 or 24.
Like she young, but like, let's see, she has music, she has acting. Huh?
No, I was gonna say, let me see how old she is. Go ahead.
She has music, she has acting going on, like she's on Grownish.
Oh, okay.
And whatnot. Like she's been on a couple episodes and whatnot. And but other than that, also she has a bachelor's degree.
Okay, boom.
From USC.
Oh, she's 27. She's a little older.
Oh.
She's a little older, I thought.
She looked like younger than that though. Like she just, you know, graduated college or something like that.
She's 27, but still, even at 27, it's like a lot of 27-year-olds wouldn't want to be like, oh, let me walk away from this and I'm going to just, you know, let him treat me whatever.
Cardi B about the same age?
She's 28. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sweetie is like, you know, yeah, this, and it doesn't mean she's not sad. It's just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm not about to just.
She feeling her feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because just because you are not about to take somebody back, and I feel like that's even harder because now you're like reimagining what your life is like without this person when undoubtedly you spend a lot of time imagining and they live together and all this other stuff. Because I remember seeing an interview where they were talking about like his side of the bed versus her side of the bed and all this kind of stuff. So I definitely think that it hurts, but like to just be like I thought you were going to react differently and like being upset with her or aggravated or have whatever kind of disdain towards her in relation to how she reacted to him cheating. Like, how is it my fault that you cheated on me and got caught? You are super famous. You got caught and you're mad because what? I didn't say I'm going to take you back because I didn't.
And then going to say I miss my granny.
Who did that, Future or Offset?
Offset did it first.
Oh, wait. He said it?
I saw a screenshot of him saying it too.
Oh, so he was probably saying it for jokes.
Like, you know, nowadays stuff can be Photoshop, but it's like I saw him. I'm like, I know this fool didn't.
It could be Photoshop. But
I'm hoping so.
I would hope that it's Photoshop, but it's just really interesting. You know, I think that thought of like responsibility. And I know a lot of times people see things and they think like, oh, that's male bashing or things like that. I just think that a lot of times people don't want to be held accountable for different things. And so people get upset, you know, like you're like, I know sometimes as a woman and a Black woman, especially, and when I interact on social media, sometimes you see things and I see things that mirror real life so often in some of my past dating experiences and stuff like that. So when you see stuff like that, it feels like to be like, see how dudes we do it? And then dudes like, all dudes ain't like this. And I'm just be like, stop all lives mattering my experience. And because I know so many other people who share this same experience, it's like there's a playbook out there somewhere and we know that these men are reading it, but apparently the men don't know that we know that you're reading it. Not you, but you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I know I'm dating, I'm like, I know exactly what's about to happen. And then you tell he's like, I ain't gonna do that. And he try to like pretend like it's not about to happen. And I'm just like, maybe you don't realize that this is what you're doing and this is what's about to happen. And, you know, no one is like, I don't have to put up with this. That's the thing. When people think that somebody has to put up with something because you bought somebody something or you did something for somebody. And I just feel like love should not operate that way. It should not operate that because you did this thing or especially because you bought something, then that means like I should in turn accept being treated as less than.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes that's the expectation and I know it sounds, but I think that sometimes that's the expectation for Black women. Like, I got you this bag. I got you this car. I bought you a house. I got you this whatever. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to physically abuse you. I'm going to do something super trash, but I bought you this stuff. So I'm a good guy. And it's like, or why don't you leave?
Tina Turner a whole bunch of gifts after he beat her ass.
Exactly. Or the thought that because I do these, because I'm sorry, that means that you have to forgive me. And that's not a requirement. And I think that sometimes people, especially I think when people do things that are super harsh, when they go against the commitment, because maybe you're not married, but when you go against the commitment that you set up in your relationship, and then someone steps outside of that commitment, and I just feel like, again, I know we talked in real life. I don't know if we talked on the show before about like being able to be with someone after they cheat.
I don't think we had. We did talk a little bit about it. You said you was gonna cut me, but
why you always gotta talk about old stuff?
Because you said like y'all go through them episodes, even through because I think we posted it on our Instagram. You said you was gonna cut me.
Let me go Instagram and delete.
Anyway,
no, I just mean like I think that that's what I'm saying. I think that there are people who are like, yes, this person committed this infidelity this one time. Maybe they were. And I never want people, either party, to ever feel culpable for someone else cheating, right? Everyone's in control of their own privates. Just everybody keep your own privates under your own control. Like, that's possible. But I also think that it is not smart to pretend like, in many instances, not all, there are contributing factors from both parties that can make, I don't believe anybody can make anybody cheat. Right? So I don't believe that. But I do believe cheat. Right. I don't think that you better cheat on me right now. Like, I don't think that that's a thing, but I do believe that somebody could ignore their partner. They cannot show love to their partner in a way, even if their partner is explaining like, I want love, I'm looking for love, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, so that person feels like they need to find that outside of their relationship. And some people go to Zumba, some people do other stuff,
some people hit a bag,
some people cheat. And again, I'm not blaming that person who did not cheat, but I'm saying like, I know a lot of people go to counseling and they're like, yeah, I was distant, I was doing this, I was ignoring you, even when you asked me for comfort and affection or whatever, I wasn't giving it, I wasn't trying, we weren't, sometimes people, and then they let it go for years and years, and then other person is like, well, whatever, so I'm not saying that person deserved to be cheated on, but I think that in some instances, both parties, and then some people just like to cheat. Some people like to see if they can get away with stuff. That's a thrill for them to see if they're going to get away with stuff. Some people be bored. Some people have such a high sense of self. They think that they're more important than their partner, in the sense that like, I'm Quavo and, yeah, I love her. She the bomb. I love her and whatever. I don't know if kids say the bomb anymore. She all that.
Wait, what?
Just say the bomb.
Kids say the bomb.
Just say the bomb.
No,
that's the bomb.
Nah, they mean like it's lit, or even that might be over right down there.
She lit. She whatever people say.
Right.
She's all that.
People definitely don't say that anymore.
Like Shawty cool, she alright. All that kind of stuff. But I'm finna go over here and do this because I can, or because this is what my job This kind of persona that it uplifts. And so I think that happens too.
Yeah.
People do stuff because they want to see if they can get away with it.
True.
Not because they emotionally evolved or they fell in. It's not like a Lifetime movie where they fell in love with somebody else and now they're torn and they don't know what to do, or their childhood love came into their life and now they're conflicted. And, I don't know, it's not always that.
Yeah, true. But also I think like some people don't, like, they do it without thinking as well. Like,
absolutely.
A lot of the times, like, people will just like, they won't ask themselves like, why did I cheat? Like, why did I cheat?
Yeah.
But yeah, they sometimes might do it without thinking about it.
Or why do you get to the point? So I think there's levels to cheating too. It's levels. It's levels to this shit.
Okay.
Right? So there's a cheating, like an emotional cheating, which I think probably women are more prone to. Not that men can't, but women will, like, you have a friend, and then you tend to like, oh, this person, people have like work husbands and work wives and stuff like that. And, but he actually likes you and he'll want to do stuff for you. And so you confide in him and, so you start talking to him. And especially if this person is a friend who is not also a friend with your partner and wasn't necessarily a friend prior to your partner. Not that you can't have friends of the opposite sex that you confide in. 'Cause I know that's a whole other thing. Which I think we just have problems with in our society, is thinking like people can't have friends of the opposite sex and not be interested in them.
Wait,
like,
what?
That people can't have friends of the opposite sex and not be interested in them.
Oh, okay.
Like, yes, it happens, right? It's happened to me where I've had friends who were like, but sometimes I don't have it for a real long time. Like, it can be years down the line, or sometimes it's just like, no, I have friends, like, not that many, right? But I definitely have like Brandon, who's my friend, who's married, who's probably like the only guy friend that I have that like he'll call, but I mean, with his wife and kids running around, and we like laugh and talk, and he's like my big brother, but we're opposite sex, we're not related, but and will not, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's my friend, and he just happens to be a guy. And I think, a lot of people, sometimes people confide in those relationships, but then they get too intimate and they get inappropriate. And, so that I think that there's that emotional cheating that can happen. Then there's like a physical, like somebody could, when people say like I was drunk, I'm not saying it's okay, but I know that people can be in spaces where like they're in some kind of event. I've done this like as a single person, like gone out, drank way too much, been at a party, dancing, had been flirting with a guy, like winking at him or whatever, and then just been enjoying myself. And he came back, we was dancing, in the middle of dancing, like kissed him and was like, okay, well. And I ain't know him like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that, all pre-COVID, well, pre-boyfriend and everything. So, that stuff has happened. But when people are like, I slipped and had sex, I just feel like there's so many steps.
Yeah, like you got to actually take off clothes and stuff. Like
you got to at least lift something.
Like, I mean, I don't know.
You was about to get grabby. Like, actually, you're
like the stomach. No,
oh my God.
But I mean, because this doesn't necessarily require a story, but like. What?
I'm just interested.
No, like there was a time where like I've been drunk like quite a few times, like in my younger years.
Grandpa.
Anyway.
Back in my day.
But not like never once during those moments that I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta, whoever is like nearby, just gotta slip into it and accidentally stumble into something and whatnot. Cause like even when even at my cousin's birthday party, like I was drinking pretty much everything. And there was one of her friends who came into, like, I was basically giving my life to the porcelain gods and everything like that the whole time. And she came in the bathroom and everything like that. And I was like, nope. Like, cause even if it wasn't like the whole cheating thing, like anything could happen. Like as far as anybody could say anything, and it's just me and her in this bathroom. She could say anything. I didn't necessarily know her like that. So I basically was like, you haven't seen Wolf of Wall Street, have you?
With Leo DiCaprio?
Yeah. So when he was like basically limp and everything like that and getting to the car, I basically was limp, pushed myself up against the wall, slid across the wall to the door, slammed that doorknob, and struggled all the way out and almost fell
you
downstairs.
probably weren't the most susceptible to sex anyway. Like you were past the like drunk sexy sex. You were like probably like at that point where, because at the point that you feel like, oh, I got a lip and I'm so drunk, that means in reality you're way drunker.
But I feel like,
and you was throwing up, she ain't want you. That's stank.
It is.
That's nasty.
At the same time, like I feel like if anything would have happened, like I think about like if I am drunk, I'm practically like one of those things that's out in front of the store that like basically waves in the wind and stuff like that. That probably would have been me the whole time and doing nothing at the same time.
Yes, exactly. Nothing is happening, but everything is happening. Yeah. Like, what is this man? And everybody's watching you like, why is his pants off? What is he doing by himself in the corner thinking he getting it on?
Yeah.
But I just think, so when I think that a lot of times when people get to the point where they're physically cheating on someone, there is some kind of thought behind it, right? Like you cheated with somebody that you know, so you kind of always you were curious about it or whatever the case is. So I think that that's interesting. And then, like I said, I think that there are people who think that they won't get caught.
Yeah.
A lot of people would do a lot of stuff if they didn't think they'd get caught.
True.
Would you cheat if you thought you wouldn't get caught?
No. Like, one is just too much stuff to go through in order to do it. Like, and then on top of that, like, why would I want to? Like,
good answer.
I'm not saying that I haven't before, because of course I have. But at the same time, like, I didn't necessarily care, or like even like I even have to revisit like some of the things, like some of the situations, like, okay, was it really cheating?
If you have to ask yourself, well, I ain't gonna lie, because I have had that. I felt like I never cheated on somebody, and then somebody reminded me of something, and I was like, was that cheating?
Yeah. So no, but because like there have been like certain situations where like actually no. No.
We already started. We're already here.
Okay, I'm gonna try to be as vague as possible. So when it came, there was a point in time in college where basically like one friend did send me to another friend's room and everything like that. And I'm over here thinking like everything is cool. Next thing I know, I'm being accused of cheating. And I'm like, but you told me to go. You said your friend needed something from me.
Penis?
Pretty much.
Your girl told you your friend wanted something for her.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, poor Tink Tink.
I mean, that's why, like,
that was the episode of Divorce Court. Wait, you should have been on, because that was. I think I've seen that scenario on Divorce. She told me it was okay, Your Honor. You honor. She said it was okay.
She legit got mad at the fact that like, the fact that it happened, and then it happened after that. I'm like, but you basically been telling me this is okay this whole time. Why are you mad at me?
You thought that was okay. That's cute.
If you mean what you say what you mean.
Was she also messing with somebody and doing other stuff? Yes or no?
I don't know.
She wasn't okay.
Man,
I would be like, kiss him. Let me know it's okay. I don't trust that. Yeah, I had me over here looking crazy. Now you mad.
But it was,
at least I can say, well, you kissed him.
But that was one of the things where I'm like, okay, is it cheating really? Like, you're accusing me of cheating, but is it really cheating?
Is it cheating if you know it's not cheating because it's permission given?
That literally just confused me.
So it's open. It's like an open relationship. Just because somebody has sex with someone other than their partner doesn't mean it's cheating. If the person is open and you guys, if that's the kind of relationship you have, there are all types of relationships. If you have a kind of relationship where you can be physically intimate with another person and the other person not have a problem with it, and they can also do the same thing if they choose to, it's not cheating.
Right.
It's just the standard of our relationship.
Right. But I was like, but my thing was like, how are you getting mad at me? Not you, but how is that person getting mad at me? Like, you literally sent me to her room. It's like, go here. I was like, okay.
So was you a prostitute? Did y'all make money off this? What is happening?
I mean, no, I
Did you think about this?
Hmm?
Did you think about it first? Right now, when I asked you that.
I mean, I didn't get paid in hand or anything like that.
What'd you get paid with? Paid in card? Bitcoin?
No, like, you know how like when you get into a relationship, like some way, somehow you are technically paying for that.
Is that what you think is happening now?
I mean, it's like give and take. What?
That's funny.
Not like technically, okay. What?
That's my listening face.
That your listening face is intimidating.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
because I'm black, because I'm a black woman now, I gotta be intimidating. Okay.
Like, it's some way, somehow, like even we discussed this the other day in the car. Like technically, in certain ways, you are paying for it, even if it's not outright.
Yeah, but I just feel like, yeah, maybe. I feel like we got into a point like we have a home together. We both pay bills. We do different stuff.
It doesn't have to be like monetary. It could be with emotion or like gifts and stuff like that.
So
like
he'll
love and shit.
Be like, let me be nice, so she let me get some booty.
Wow. Anyway, but yeah, like I just think like, you know, like there are other things that you can receive instead of money. Like technically money is the most lucrative, of course, but at the same time,
quickest. It's very straightforward.
Quick, like, and it's very business transactional and stuff like that.
Look, I believe in sex work. I think sex work is, it's the oldest type of work that's out there. It ain't going nowhere. Okay, people gonna pay to slap some cheeks. They are gonna do it. Wow. It's gonna happen. But the first question was, would you cheat if you could get away with it? Is there anything that is not legal or that's not scrupulous that you would do?
Would I cheat?
That was the question. Would you cheat if you thought you could get away with it?
It's too much going into that.
But if you could get away with it, I'm never going to find out.
It's too much time and energy to go through that. That's too much time and energy. I don't cheat well. I'm
not also not advocating cheating. I'm just wondering. I think that is the interesting thing. Like when you think about would people do stuff if they thought they could get away with it, right? Mm-hmm. Like if I thought I could rob a bank successfully,
that's different.
I would do it.
That's different. But like that right there, it doesn't like, yeah, of course jail time is like,
but if I knew, I'm gonna do this, I'm never gonna go to jail, I'm gonna get away with it.
True. But the way that like technically it would be like another whole nother relationship, which I don't have the energy or time for.
It could be one time. Again, not advocating.
That's still a lot of energy and time into just even that one time.
I just think that if you're a person like a Quavo, I don't understand how people get caught cheating. I just feel like it has to be so disrespectful. You have to get so sloppy with it because on one hand, you do have very high visibility. But on the other hand, you have the power and the people around you to make whatever happen. You could talk to somebody and then you can like get your person to be like, hey, talk to her, but set this up for me. Let her know like it's for me. So when you're that kind of person where you could have that position where if you're going to cheat, especially if you're going to cheat multiple times, the fact that you got caught means you were sloppy with it, but you have the resources to not be sloppy. You're not like regular folk that still got to go to work and do all sorts of stuff. You can have a lot of people do a lot of stuff on your behalf.
But see, that's a lot of time and a lot of energy to even set that up.
But a lot of people do it. Because people just be cheating all the time. People be out here doing it. So I hear what you're saying, but I'm also saying people be doing it because people be out here cheating. Hence Quavo and Sweetie and that whole situation. But that's good to know. I'm good to know that you never cheat on me. Not because you love me, but because it's exhausting.
I said that first.
Did you? Let's rewind the tape. Nope, didn't hear that part. Only heard that it's hard. So you're not going to do it.
I said, but why would I?
I don't know. I don't think you should.
Right.
I don't advocate cheating. Not only because I'm going to cut you.
Would you?
Would I cheat if I could get away with it? No. I don't. One. What? Oh, yeah. One, I love you.
Uh-huh.
See how I started, and I don't feel the need to do that. But it always, I think we've had similar. It always goes back to the lying part for me. When I get to a point where it's like, if I wanted to be with someone else, and it got so the desire. Okay, first thing is, I think that people can be attracted to other people.
Right.
I don't think anything is wrong with that. I think that I will go out into the world and find myself attracted to other men, maybe a girl that I think is cute, whatever. And I think that's fine. You should. I believe that you should too. I think you'll go out into the world, you'll see other women, you'll be like, damn, shawty fine. You might have a conversation with a person in a business transaction, you know, and just be like, man,
not prostitution.
Yeah, not prostitution. And be like, this person is interesting. Like, oh, that's nice, right? And I think that a lot of it is just about our how we act on things. People think that we can't feel stuff, and we can. But you don't have to act on everything that you feel. So because you think someone is attractive doesn't mean you got to go jump their bones. It doesn't mean that. So I think that I can find someone attractive. If I ever got to the point where I felt like I had to sleep with someone, I would feel like I needed to have a conversation as to why I felt like I wasn't getting that out of our relationship. And then have that conversation with you. I believe in having hard conversations. I believe in having uncomfortable conversations. And I was reading this article earlier, and it was talking about like white people and how they're like not accustomed to having like difficult conversations.
Real talk.
Yeah. Did you see that?
I saw parts of it.
And part of it was like, that's why a lot of times Black people are viewed like as being intimidating or whatever, because that straight talk, that real talk, you know, sometimes we will say like, okay, dog, like real talk, like whatever, and just say what's on your mind. And I will say that even in that instance, I feel like sometimes my candor goes beyond like what I just like to say, like, hey, this is the thing that is happening. Now, I've had to learn how to filter some of that because I think sometimes you have to give yourself time to like really think about like, is this the thing that I'm thinking, you know, is it a heat of the moment thing? Is it like real, or is it this? Is, you know, being a woman, I'm like, is this period hormones talking? Sometimes I get like really upset during my time of the month, or like right before, or like real emotional. And then it starts and you're like, oh, I knew I wasn't no weak ass bitch. Like, that's what it was. It really is like your uterus is just like, it's me, girl. Uh-oh, what happened?
No, I'm marking that.
You so silly. Your uterus is just like, no, girl, it's me. I'm making you feel extra emotional at this SpongeBob meme or something crazy. Like, that is the thing. And so I think that like in that, I just like, I feel like there's conversation to be had. I think that people also, relationships change, right? And like I said, a lot of times monogamy is something that we have been conditioned to believe is the way to go. I personally believe in monogamy for a number of reasons. One, I'm with you that everything else is exhausting, but that's also because we're putting it in the context of it's cheating. So when you're trying to hide what you're doing, that makes it more emotionally taxing and toiling, as opposed to saying like, no, I'm just actually also in a relationship with this other person. And that's what it is. It'll probably have its own. I've never been in a polyamorous relationship or an open relationship in that way, at least knowingly. But I imagine it has its own set of issues.
Well, yeah, because you have to battle with everybody's different attitudes, different personalities and stuff like that. It's not like what works for one person won't work for another person and whatnot. And it's like, that's a lot to keep up with. And on top of that, like I said, like I don't necessarily cheat well or know how to balance. Like, it's hard to even balance just one relationship. And trying to balance two or more. Like,
but do you think that some of that could be because you're trying to make your partner all, right? Just Play with me for a moment. Don't be inappropriate on the camera. Indulge me for a moment. Let me choose my words a lot more clearly. Listen. Put your listening ears on. Okay. If the thought is that your partner from an intimate romantic level has to fulfill everything, or you go without, right? Whatever I don't fulfill for you on a romantic, emotional, physically romantic level, you either self-supply, right? You have to feel like, how do I feed myself positivity, whatever other things I'm not getting, or you just go without. If you have multiple partners though, or even another, that thing that I don't give you, then the other partner does. Then you're more fulfilled, meaning then you in turn give me more of what I need. You give your other partner more of what they need, because we're in this highly reciprocal area because you're feeling fulfilled in all areas. And I get balancing relationships, but we do that in our daily lives anyway. We do that with people we work with our family, with our friends.
But I gotta go home with them.
Yeah, but what if you did? Right. What if you didn't always have to come home with me? Right. So it's just like, okay, well, this one don't cook and I don't really like that one. And this one does this well, but this one, and then you'll be like, she'll do this because she loves me. So, but she really enjoys doing this. So I can get this from her. And then I also can love her in this way that she doesn't really enjoy. But I get to love her in this way that she really enjoys. So that way, it could be my perfect woman is actually two separate people.
True. But just even going through the process of making both of those people happy.
But you're not being everything to both of them. Because maybe, then I'm also having someone else, right?
That's generally not always the case, though.
It could be, though. But I think it's not the case because, going back to my original point, we're conditioned to think monogamy is ideal.
So I've been cheating wrong this whole time.
See, it's not cheating. That's the thing. Because if you're just in open relationships, if you are just in a polyamorous relationship where this is what we do, right? Think about what we think is weird, right? And I think because I've been watching a lot of Sister Wives, catching up. If everybody grew up.
You talking about the show with the dude with the hair that looked like ramen noodles?
Yes. Okay, but just don't think about them specifically, but think about if that type of lifestyle was common, then monogamy would be weird, right? If having a sister wife was, and yeah, they talk about the difficulties in having a sister wife, but then there's also the man, sometimes when I just want to be alone, he got 3 other wives. So great. I don't have to, we want to keep building a family, but someone is not in a space where they physically can or they want to. I don't got to be pregnant. She can be the house person while I'm out here making the bread for the house. Like, they have the wives who work more. This person has her own business. This person is raising a lot of the children. Like, everyone brings these different attributes to the family. And ultimately, it's a more communal. Ooh, shoot. Okay. See, this one I want to be sitting right here. It's a more communal situation because they're able to help one. You're so silly. Everyone can see your face.
Just plugging it in.
You just had to be inappropriate. So they are being they're interacting in this more communal type society or space. So it's not cheating. No one is cheating because I know he has a wife. He has.
In that
so that's what I'm saying. And these other situations, that's what I'm talking about too. When I'm talking about relationships where no one is cheating because people are going into situations. If you're going in a relationship where we believe in open relationship and these are the boundaries. Even I've seen people on divorce court, they only get upset when somebody goes against what we say. Okay, we set this standard in our relationship. We can be with other people, but you can't do X, Y, and Z. You do X, Y, and Z. It's you just want to cheat.
No, I think, okay, so what I'm getting at it, like the whole cheating process and everything like that, all that stuff, that's exhausting. Like if it's something that is agreed upon between those people and stuff like that, I think that could be a very cohesive thing. As far as the cheating aspect, trying to go through the whole motions of trying to hide it, trying to go through the whole motions of trying to make sure that other person is happy and everything like that, all that stuff that's in the cheating realm and everything like that, that's exhausting.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm not for that.
Of, you know, the whole sister wives thing and all that stuff like that, I can understand, like, you know, because all the people who are in that situation are learning each other. So it's not like nobody's hiding something from somebody else to basically it to blow up in the end. So I get that.
That's what I'm saying. So to have that kind of relationship, even if it doesn't even mean that like she and I have to be like best friends or whatever, but there's just like a thought, like, you know, and then you're less resentful, well, I would imagine, but maybe not, to this person because they don't have this thing, because it's fine. Like this person has this thing. And it's not a matter of like her better or him better or him better. It's just like, you give me this. And I think that like oftentimes we try to make our partner be everything to us. Now, I think we do need to take a look at what we desire from our partner. Like what I need from you. Like these are the things that I need to come from you. They can come from other people. That's nice. Whatever. I need these things to come from you. But also you, and I mean, I don't mean this in a bad way. And I think you probably feel the same about me. You don't give me everything that I need in terms of relationships, and not like romantic, right? But like I might have, you know, this relationship with my sister that provides a sense of like camaraderie that goes back since before I had memory. Right? That's why I call my sister my original best friend, because she's my OBF. She's my first best friend. So, and it's just because we have gone through a lot in our upbringing and all that kind of stuff, that I don't look for, not that we're not friends, 'cause we are friends. And I consider you one of my best friends, because I do feel like you have to be in a relationship with your best friend. It's just different. She provides a different level of, because she understands things about me in a sense that she has seen my evolution as a person coming. So there are things in our relationship that I don't desire. That I only need to a certain level, because I get that a lot from this end. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't expect you to be nobody should be everything, that their partner's going to be everything in every way. But it's like, oh, I get fulfillment. Or it's like, okay, I could talk to you about this stuff, but you're not going to spend a long time talking about, you know, clothes with me. Right. But I know that like me and Lauren can talk about it forever. So I get that in that relationship. I know that when I want to talk about, you know, old school songs, like old school, like salsa music or whatever, like I can get that from, even when I talk about jokes from 8th grade that we used to tell, or really go down memory lane, because this is the person I went to school with since kindergarten. You know, like, so like, I think that they're just different relationships that fulfill me in different ways. And, you know, it's different, you know, clearly it's not all romantic, but I just think like playing with the idea of like monogamy, if we didn't think that monogamy was the thing, right, then less people would cheat. If people made a decision to say, I'm not monogamous, like people who need to cheat, like I've never felt like I gotta cheat, gotta get out, cheat. Like I've never felt that way, but there are clearly people who feel that way. Like they just gotta cheat. So for the people who feel like they gotta cheat, I just think like, have they ever considered that maybe they're not monogamous and they're trying to force themselves into monogamy?
I mean,
and it's like, why force it? It's clearly not working for you.
True. If
the shoe don't fit, you must acquit. Acquit the monogamy. That's a good title of this episode, Aquit Monogamy. People are going to be like, what are these people talking about? That's what I want. I want them to listen. Just tagging. Beep, beep, beep. Mark, mark, mark. But yeah, I just think that is something that I was thinking about. This is not what this episode was supposed to be about.
At all.
But look at us at 50-something minutes, and I'm burping this whole time.
I think it's because of that smoothie.
Your peanut butter, your melted frosty smoothie. It wasn't bad. I'm telling you, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
You have anything else to add to the conversation, buddy?
Not really. Like, I think some of the stuff that was within this conversation needs to probably be a different episode or something like that.
Like what?
Like what we expect from our partners and stuff. Or
that's a good.
Or maybe
Great Expectations. Look at the titles just rolling through. Isn't that a movie?
A TV show?
I think it's a movie or a book.
Something.
Keep talking.
You better really about to look this up.
Yeah, because stuff be bothering me if I don't find it out.
But no, I don't think. I think like explore, like, because we don't talk about that enough. Like, well, we hear all the time, like, well, different things like within our relationship, like, like if you can cook a little bit more, or if you can do this, but I don't think even just starting out in relationships, like most of my relationships I don't think any of my relationships started out like the expectations talk.
I think that's a good conversation. We've never had that conversation before.
I think it's basically been sprinkled. Like, you let me know what you want, but like it's not anything like a whole list of stuff that we basically run down of stuff that
I think that'd be a fun episode. Next episode, Great Expectations. So, and I want it to be authentic. So I think that we should write a list of what our expectations are. And maybe we can come up with like, these are the things I feel like I really need in my expectations in a relationship. And these are kind of like the things like I want, right? Maybe like 10 things, and you could do 5 that you feel like you gotta have. And then 5, like, I would really like. And then we won't share them with each other until we record. So when we record will be so it's authentic and the reactions will be real.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Bum, bum, bum. I'm excited about it. And you got to be real. Don't say stuff that you think, I'm going to say stuff that's palatable for the people. If we both say something that we decide should just be for us and should not be for the people, we'll just cut it out.
Okay.
So I don't want you to not say what you really want to say because you're worried about what it looks like on the podcast. We'll cut it out. They don't got to know. We just be like, these are the things, and y'all take what you get.
Now they're going to be like, what y'all about to cut out?
Maybe we cut out nothing, because you know me. Sometimes I just be like, that's fair. I mean, you could say that, right? I think that the other person who you said the expectation about has to decide, like, do they want that aired? But I think the other party's like, it doesn't have to be about me. It's like, this is what I mean, I guess probably it would be, because it might be like what you see as a deficit. But it also could be like, this is an expectation and then you already fulfill it, but this is what I want and this is why I'm here. So, I mean, we could play around. We have a week to think about. Well, a little less than a week. Yeah, we got less than a week. Because we should probably record actually on Sunday next week.
Yeah, because don't you...
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah. Talking in code, just like, day, what, yeah. All right, guys. This was a great episode. What did I say? Quitting monogamy. Quitting. I'll come up.
If it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah. Monogamy. Work on it. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode. Don't forget to follow us on all things social media at If It Isn't Love Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and If It Isn't Love PO1 on Twitter. And of course on YouTube, If It Isn't Love Podcast. If you're watching it, this is us still in our new house. Until next time. Bye. Don't try to be like me.
Nah, I do that. You do the
I be saying peace.
No, you be saying like peace, love, and soul. Or
Okay,
like
but start off with peace.
Or you say stuff that like is on a different like on a TV show or something like that. Come up with different outros. And
I really have no idea what I'm about to say till I say it. I'm working on my improv skills. I'm gonna make it big, America.
All because of you. I feel the way I do. You make my dreams come true. Yeah. It's all